fuck's sake. To the present day, I do not have a single friend. And for essentially over a decade, I haven't been offered a single friend who is not completely indifferent to his or her own as well as my health, reputation, and dignity. I literally haven't been given a single option for an actual friend whom I genuinely am a friend. Who I am not just somebody to laugh around with, to do common activities with, whether video games, sports, or whatever, or somebody to spend time with, but to who I actually am a human being whose health and happiness they care about. Because sort of friendship for me isn't just to spend time with another and to have a good time, some banter, and some laughs. Friendship to me is to actually care about another. And similarly, friendship to me isn't about blindly backing the other person up. As in, for example, if my friend has an argument with a third party or with a common friend, I'm I'm not somebody who automatically goes like, oh, that third party is bad and wrong and you're my good friend, everything you do is perfect. Or, oh, our common friend, yeah, such a shit person, everything you did must have been good and fuck the other person. No. I am somebody who then wants to understand what has been going on, how an argument was created, and who wants to sort of mitigate that argument and, to where possible, mediate between parties. So I'd ask questions about the situations and sort of try to help in finding a constructive solution. And when it seems that a constructive solution isn't possible with the third party, then fair enough. Then I'm gonna fully take my friend's side. However, if I think that my friend here was somewhat sabotaging the relations to that third party, I'm also going to honestly tell them like, hey, sort of, if you actually said and did that and that, sort of think how that affected this third party, and sort of basically sort of, yeah, would encourage them to question their own behavior, especially if from their narrative I'd found something where they genuinely messed up or somewhat largely contributed to creating an argument. And similarly, when I have an argument or a severe difference of opinion with somebody, then I neither want to be told to move on, to forget, to live in the present moment, and to God knows what, distract myself, go on a holiday or whatever. Nor do I want another person to blindly take my side and to then sort of rage against the person whom I have an argument with. Sort of, especially after what that Adam Gilman guy did to me, then everybody whom I talked to suddenly was like, oh, such a piece of shit, forget him, he sounds like a real asshole. It's sort of, yeah, what he did was utterly assholish behavior. But at the same time, the person whom I'd been close friends with for over a year wasn't an assholish behavior person. And sort of, then I'm just thinking about some other situations now. And then comes the additional factor that I've had very few friends who there were common friends with. So I've rarely had the opportunity of actually talking to somebody who knew me as well as the other party involved. But sort of generally at the same time, I've never had anybody who actually wanted to de escalate, but instead exclusively people who then either added fuel to the fire or told me to forget it, move on, or essentially a combination of both. The thing is, I'd gladly move on if that meant that this then would stop happening. However, for over 1.5 decades of my life, sort of moving on and and sort of repressing or not trying to think about situations where I've been severely hurt in the past has exclusively led to people hurting me again and again and again. And simultaneously, somehow, the only people whom I sort of get as options to be in contact with are people who would hurt me over and over again, or people with whom any relationship or friendship would be whom with any relationship or friendship would be inherently one-sided, especially on the sort of emotional intelligence and mindfulness side of things. And sort of basically briefly said, I would get on absolutely perfectly with somebody who has a similar system of values as myself. However, I somehow exclusively attract the opposite. Or exclusively have attracted the opposite for decades over decades. And also exclusively attract people who don't even want to reflect, who do not even want to consider, hey, what could I possibly have done different here? What could I have done different in the past? What could I have done better? How can I be a better person? But instead, somehow, I exclusively attract people who'd repeat the same mistakes and hurtful behaviors over and over and over. And I'd say that I need this to stop, that I needed to stop that people hurt me, that I needed to stop that I attract people who repeat the same dysfunctional behaviors over and over. But the thing is, I do not just need that. I also need an activated friendship or relationship to even remotely build me back up. Because 1.5 decades of being trapped in shit, people. 1.5 decades of people somehow expecting me to be some sort of machine that repeats the same bullshit and hurtful and conflicting behavior again and again and again, and that doesn't give a shit about her physical and her mental wellness and happiness and health. That's utterly destroyed me. And somehow, while so many utterly destructive bullshit people attracted people who cared about them and who tried to see the good in them, including me. Sort of, I've been attracted to a lot of self-destructive people in the past, and I've sort of tried to heal them. Well, not to heal them, to sort of make them be somewhat more mindful, or to sort of tell them to be less self-destructive. And it fucking destroyed me. But these people fucking destroyed me. And all these people that somehow eventually got people who took care of them, I, as a person who wouldn't destroy somebody else, somehow haven't gotten that ever. Literally, in my entire life, I haven't had a single genuinely equivalent friendship or relationship in which the other person that didn't abruptly go zero empathy on me and severely hurt me in ways that were so much worse that that essentially did worse than to cancel out any good times and good memories and that there ever had been. And, and that's what sort of what I sort of not struggle to comprehend it exactly, but what I literally just can't understand in the way of that doesn't make any sense. Why the fuck? Why the hell are things that way? How the hell do I, as a person who actually is good towards friends, who's honest, who self-reflects, who also sort of encourages other people to self-reflect, why the hell had I never gotten anybody who genuinely and permanently cared about me? Why have I exclusively gotten to be around people who then hurt me? Why do people hurt me wherever I go? So something I literally was born by parents who gave birth to a child to break its will and to hurt it over and over. And sort of, I've known that I have horrible, devoid of empathy parents who are utterly incapable of actual love or of anything but essentially rules, social norms, and punishment. So sort of, I've known that my parents are deeply messed up people for many, many years. And I can come to terms with, and I for a very long time have come to terms with the fact that I have parents who are utterly incapable of love or care or of any form of nurture. But why the hell can I not attract people who are similar to me? Why the hell, when I already have been put through all this shit, why the hell do I, as a person who's been born to parents who didn't give the slightest bit of a shit about her, who's been born to parents to whom every stranger was more important than their own child, who's consistently been bullied at school, who's literally been through hell over and over and over. Why the hell do I not get to be around good people? Why the hell do I not get somebody who's sort of mich auffängt? Ach, damn it, ach. Now this doesn't make sense if I'd say it in German. in English, because I want to say somebody who sort of catches me, but basically sort of somebody who's there for me, who takes care, who cares about me, and who cares about me as a human being, to whom I'm not just some sort of thing or machine that they want to function, but somebody who actually sees me as a human being, sort of builds me up, and also acknowledges injustices that I've been or am being subjected to, and where possible tries to defend me against these. And who'd also honestly criticize me. And that not in a way of sort of accusing me, but in a way of actually sort of reaching a constructive dialogue, of facilitating a constructive dialogue. So, sort of, why the hell can I not have a sort of rational, down to earth person who cares about my health and happiness and whom I can talk to? And especially not a person who actually genuinely cares about me as a human being as well, and would show some sort of empathy, love, or affection towards me. Why the hell am I all alone? Sort of. Why the hell does nobody in this entire world give a shit about me? Or at least nobody who actually is there, nobody who's present in my life. And especially sort of, why does nobody care about me, despite the fact that I actually care about people? And sort of also have expressed that through words as well as through actions on multiple occasions, whilst absolutely nobody ever has done the same for me.